some people on the tube didn't think the idea of a Chinese-style social credit system was a bad idea. So we're following them as they're doing this. So they're talking to people about this social credit system that's already implemented in China, and they're saying is going to be implemented here, or rather is already being implemented here. Is that something you're aware of and concerns you?
No, not really. I think it's just going to happen, and it's not that bad, and no, I'm personally not that worried about it.
Why do you think it's not that?
Oh, it's not that bad having the government be able to know all of your opinions on everything, and then if you have a bad opinion which goes against their guidelines, then you get punished and you can't even buy good quality food, and you're stuck eating rice and bread, and you can't even use your car because they turn it off because it's electric. You can't even take the train. You have to take the bus everywhere because you've been a bad citizen. That's not so bad, is it? It's not so bad, guys, don't worry. Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Nazarene Veronica, and today I'm back with another reaction video where I'll be reacting to a Rebel News interview where me and my friends basically did some tube outreach. So what me and my friends used to do is we used to go on the London Underground and do outreach where we just gave out leaflets and held up big yellow boards talking about the social credit system and how that's happening in China and it's soon to come to the UK and worldwide, really. We just felt it was important to get the information out to the people, and because of the censorship that we were experiencing online, we thought, well, why not just go out into the public and talk to people and show them the information and be like, this is coming, beware, right? So, because they can't censor you in person, if you know what I mean. Yeah, we used to do that, and then Rebel News got in contact with me saying, can we film one of your outreaches? And I was like, sure, why not? So this is that, and I'm just going to react to it. I've not watched it in a while, so I'm just going to refresh my memory and rewatch it and, yeah, film it, because I think it might be quite funny and also inspirational, because it's important to do that still. Anyway.
This is Callum Smiles for Rebel News, and today I am in central London to follow a group of grassroots freedom activists as they do their outreach programme on the London Underground, where they try and inform the general public about what they fear is a dystopian future of a Chinese-style social credit system here in the United Kingdom.
Now, if you're unaware of what the social credit system is in China, it is basically like a credit card system. So if you use your credit card in a good way, then you get to be able to use it more and pay for more things, and you get perks like, you get a mortgage, things like that. Whereas if you have a bad credit score, then you can't access those things and you get punished in financial terms. Whereas the social credit system is if you're a bad citizen and do something naughty, like, I don't know, spread misinformation, for example, like people were doing in the past 3 years. Misinformation or not, it's up to you, I guess. But if you do that, then you get your social credit score lowered, which means you have access to less things. Whereas if you're a good citizen and you behave well and, do loads of voluntary work and good things, then you get a very high social credit score. So you have access to all the best quality food, all the best quality furniture. You get to use trains instead of buses, things like that. So they really, punish people for being naughty and reward people for being good. So we fear that's coming to the UK soon because they're trying to digitalize everything, and that could lead to a very easily controllable state. So that's what we're spreading information about in this video.
What they do is on packed tubes, they give a brief speech telling people about their concerns around a possible cashless society, digital IDs, and a social credit system like we see in China. So, Nazarene, tell me about what you're doing on this train then today.
So we're going to be handing out these leaflets about, like it says, digital ID or digital money, social credit system, facial recognition. It's basically explaining what our future is looking like according to the World Economic Forum and other multi-billionaires who think they rule us. And it's giving solutions as well and ways to prevent it from happening, as well as explaining what it is, because we were about giving solutions instead of just talking about the problems. So yeah, very good leaflet, and we hand it out and we explain to people what's going on. If they have any questions, we answer them. So yeah.
And for those that would question that we are going down this dystopian path, what sort of evidence could you say that there already is here in the UK that we are going down that route?
Well, many shops are cashless now, so you can't even pay with cash even if you want to. which is dangerous because if you look at, if all shops turn cashless, they can just shut down our bank accounts whenever they want to, like Justin Trudeau did in Canada when the truckers were protesting, and they couldn't even buy food because the shops were cashless nearby. So that's the problem, and that's happening already. The actual evidence is Klaus Schwab literally said you're going to own nothing and be happy in his speech about Agenda 2030. So what do you mean we're going to own nothing? What do you mean by that? Who are you to say that? What are you planning on doing to make us own nothing? How are you going to get that happening? What are you going to take away from us? I find it funny because when I look at myself, I don't look like the kind of person who would do anything like this. I just look like a little mouse who would usually be too scared to speak up. And that's actually how I used to be. That was my personality before. And I just suddenly, in the past 3 years, this massive change happened inside me where I was like, I could see all of the, convid, pandemic stuff happening. And I freaked out and I was like, what's going on? I can't believe my eyes. I need to do something about this. And it just made me so vocal and made me so passionate and so confident in public speaking, and the desperation to get the information out just took over and I just forgot how to be shy. And then I just find it funny looking at myself doing things like this. Look at my face. Anyway, let me skip a bit because it's quite a long video.
Really reliable information and really great sources, thank you.
So after giving their speech here on a packed train here in central London, it caught everyone's attention. Everyone looked up and watched as they addressed the entire train. And it's quite encouraging to see that actually a lot of people are quite receptive to the information they want to hand out. Do you mind if I ask you what you think about everything they had to say here today?
Incredibly based.
Incredibly based. I love that. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I don't necessarily disagree with any of it. It's the most interesting protest I've ever seen, and yeah.
Do you think more people should be doing this?
Protesting or espousing the narrative or what?
He's so confused. He's like, he doesn't know what's going on.
Well, protesting
action?
Protesting in this sort of manner.
What's the follow-up? We need action.
What sort?
Just the first step.
I get what he's saying about we need action, but I don't think he read the leaflet we're giving out because it literally has information about how to try and prevent it from happening and the possible solutions, because that's what our whole group's about. We don't just tell people about the problems and then not give them any solutions. So I don't think he read the leaflet, so he thinks we're just talking instead of actually doing anything. But we are actually doing things by giving people solutions to it. So
do you think everything they say is right and that we are heading towards a totalitarian regime across the world?
I definitely think it's one vision of the future, yeah. The question is, what are we doing as the people to prevent it from happening?
Sorry to That was so dramatic. Do you know what? Sometimes I feel like my life is like a film, and then I can't believe this. Sometimes I'm just like, what is my life? I never thought I would ever do anything like this. I never thought I'd be protesting. I never thought I'd ever be passionate about anything to the point of being able to protest against it or about it. It's crazy to me. The past 3-4 years seriously changed me so much, and I'm happy it all happened because obviously I've just gained so much wisdom and knowledge in such a short space of time. I'm upset that it happened because I wish that my life could just be normal, but also it brought so many people that I wouldn't have met otherwise into my life and brought me so many opportunities. It's just crazy. I'm getting emotional. What a life. What a life. It's such a crazy life. Disturb you. This is quite an important message. So the New World Order is descending upon us. I don't know if you've heard, but the World Economic Forum is saying that by 2030 we're going to own nothing and be happy. That's Klaus Schwab's quote. I'm literally quoting him. Klaus Schwab said, by 2030 we're going to own nothing and be happy. Look at all these incels just sat there with their earphones in trying to ignore it. I mean, some people are listening. Usually the whole train just turns around and listens, but I think at this point they were just let me just put my earphones in and pretend it's not happening. And yeah, ignorance is bliss, but it won't be bliss in a short space of time. Soon, when shit really hits the fan, ignorance will no longer be bliss. It will no longer be bliss. You're going to be suffering more if you don't know what's going on, because you're not going to be able to prevent anything from happening to you. You'll have literally all your rights just stripped from you because you won't even realise they're being being taken away. You won't even be able to fight for them. So, ignorance is not bliss in this case. It is at the moment, but soon it won't be. So, I mean, they should really be listening, but obviously you can only reach so many people. So, yeah, he has a lot of power. He is the leader of the World Economic Forum. And if he's saying this, I think you should take it seriously. If he's saying this, I think you should take it seriously.
Do you mind if I ask you what you thought about all that?
I think it's great. You guys should continue. Yeah, it's terrible that they're taking the cash out of the system. It's control. It really is just control. So keep going.
And do you think this is going to escalate further?
I don't know. I think people are just, closed up in their lives and don't really want to take action, unfortunately. Yeah.
Well, thank you for your time. So as we move further and further down the train, people are actually very receptive to everything they have to say. Everyone stops what they're doing and they actually listen to everything they say. And the majority of people are taking a leaflet and are giving it a good read.
I know we're stuck in the train right now, and I know a lot of people just want to get home, but just quickly, we just come to give you some leaflet. It's about the social credit system that they bring into the UK, a cashless society. We've been speaking about this for 3 years. If you guys can take some leaflet, it's about the Chinese social credit system, and just there's a lot of sources on there where you guys can do your own due diligence. Me coming to speak in a train, a crowded train, you know what I mean? It's kind of like, what the hell is this guy doing, in a pandemic, in the middle of a pandemic? So, yeah, obviously the reception now is different. A lot of people taking the leaflets now. Most of the people taking the leaflets now. But before, we didn't have a lot of people taking the leaflet. But what was more powerful back then was that everybody grabbed their phone back then and start recording us. And this is how everything went viral all over the world.
Yeah, it's true. We were actually going viral for a long period of time. Especially Ramis, this man. He is a good friend of mine, and he used to go to schools. He used to be on the street. He used to be on the tube. He once rented an entire bus, like one of those tour buses with the whole top off, just to tell people about what was happening with the medication that we were told to take in the past 3 years, if you know what I mean, and to warn people against it and just tell them about the dangers of it and all of the stats about the injuries and unaliving that it was causing. So yeah, he was doing God's work at that point, right where it was illegal to even go outside. He was out there doing it, going to schools, trying to give leaflets to the children to give to their parents about the medication. It was just amazing. It really was. And that's how we met. And yeah, it went from there. And we just became such a tight group. And wow, it was just amazing. This is what I'm saying when I say I'm kind of happy that it all happened, because it needed to happen in order to bring us all together. Quite cool. Anyway, but of course, there are still some people who do not want to hear the information because they'd rather live in their dream world and ignore the fact that, this is all coming our way, and they'd rather bury their heads in the sand than see what's coming. So yeah, let's have a look at that. Society and social credit system.
Some people on the tube didn't think the idea of a Chinese-style social credit system was a bad idea. So we're following them as they're doing this. So they're talking to people about this social credit system that's already implemented in China, and they're saying is going to be implemented here, or rather is already being implemented here. Is that something you're aware of and concerns you?
No, not really. I think it's just going to happen, and it's not that bad, and no, I'm personally not that worried about it.
Why do you think it's not that?
Oh, it's not that bad having the government be able to know all of your opinions on everything. And then if you have a bad opinion which goes against their guidelines, then you get punished and you can't even buy good quality food, and you're stuck eating rice and bread, and you can't even use your car because they turn it off because it's electric, and you can't even take the train. You have to take the bus everywhere, even if it's a really, really far away, and you have to stay on the bus for hours and hours and hours because you've been a bad citizen. That's not so bad, is it? It's not so bad, guys, don't worry.
That bad?
Because if they think it's any worse than it already is now, then I don't know. if the government want to know stuff about you, they already know it. I think it's, yeah.
It's not about the government knowing stuff about you. It's about the government being able to punish you if there's a social credit system implemented. Like, we already know the government knows everything about us. We know that. Everyone has a smartphone. Yeah, the government tracks us through that. That's obvious. We're not talking about that. We're talking about the fact they're going to use it against us in the future, like they're doing in China. But he can't see it. He thinks it's a good thing. He thinks it's okay. He thinks it's not a problem if it happens. How can he not see that as a problem?
You're fooling yourself to think you have any choice anyway.
Weak man. Weak man. He thinks that you don't have a choice in life. He thinks that, oh, you just have to, be a government slave and just, get on your knees and beg them to give you basic necessities. That's so weak. Like, I'm so sorry for that woman. I don't know, is that woman his girlfriend? That poor woman who's just sat next to him. Oh man, why did you choose such a weak man to be with? If any man that I was dating said to me, oh, there's no point doing anything about it because, it's going to happen anyway and we haven't got a choice in life and I'm not going to fight for you and I'm not going to protect you from it, I'd be like, okay, right, next one, please. Like, I could not be with a man who is that weak-minded that he thinks that you just have to be a government slave. That's embarrassing.
Debate or dialogue, and you've got a recipe for disaster. So it's been a really interesting evening here in central London, following a more old-fashioned style of public outreach. But more encouragingly was just how well received it was. Those on the train, by and large, actually wanted to listen to what Nazarene and the group had to say, and they also wanted to read what they had on the flyers. So this has been Callum Smiles in central London for Rebel News. I'll see you next time.
I still find it amazing that I had the confidence to do that, and I could still do it over and over again. And I'm sure that more things will happen where I feel the need to do the same thing. The videos that we were posting were going viral. I think one of them had like almost 1 million views on Twitter, which was crazy. What, just for, an outreach video. So yeah, I might do some reactions to those. One of them was pretty crazy. There was like an undercover police officer following us around and then saying that we were committing like a breach of peace or whatever. And we were like, what? That one went quite viral, so I might react to that one. But yeah, I think it's really important that we do carry on spreading information like this in whatever way we can, whether that's online, although online's kind of weird because of the censorship, or just through conversations with our friends and family, or outreach like this. If you want to make your own groups and do outreach, then that's obviously great. Yeah, I think it's quite hopeful that people are actually asking questions and willing to take the information from us via like leaflets. And yeah, I think it's looking up, and I think that people will not allow what is coming to actually happen. I think we'll stop it before it actually gets to that stage. So yeah, let me know what you think in the comments. Did you think that's a good method of sharing information? Or yeah, let me know what you think. What would you be willing to do something like this? I'd be interested to know. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more content like this, and I'll see you in the next video.